What's up, guys? It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. So, really quick, I have a video for you. This is a challenge video, and please share our videos. If you're new here, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for Healthy Life. I apologize for the weird angle. I can't find my tripod, and I'm too tired to get up and look for it. So, thank you so much for viewing, first of all. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It makes a huge difference, and I appreciate all that you do. So, first of all, one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people struggle with is how to control hunger and cravings. Now, I've talked about this in so many different ways. I guess the first little caveat before I even get started on the 5 things that I want to give you as far as tips to be able to control them would be, if you're low carb, which a lot of you guys are, you got to be low carb. You can't just half-ass it. If you are like carbs one day, carbs not the other day, carbs sometimes, carbs not, you're going to go through like a lot of basically like sugar withdrawals and stuff like that. Every few days you're going to be struggling. You're going to find yourself struggling one day, not struggling the next day. You're going to get really high blood sugar spikes from maybe it's like macaroni and cheese or cookies or ice cream or whatever it is. And then a couple hours later, you're going to be bogged down, so you're going to reach out again for those carbohydrates. Now, after a few days, you're not going to usually have that issue. There may be a small adaptation process where your body was clearly eating way too much before, and your body's just adapting to eating less calories. So that can be an issue for some people. In the very beginning, I will say if you've been following a meal plan for a while, you should not be doing this. But in the beginning, if you're wanting to reach out for something, you could eat like a couple ounces of cheese and a couple ounces of, or like an ounce of cheese and a couple ounces of like maybe deli meat that has no sugar or carbohydrates until you get past that initial phase. And then you can kind of wean away from that if you can. The first tip that I want to give you is eat. If you're struggling from cravings and hunger, eat, but specifically eat what you're supposed to be eating. Because 99.9% of the time, if you just cure that hunger, a lot of the times the cravings and the hunger will go away. And it seems so simplistic when I say it like that, because you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's right. If I'm hungry, I just eat, right? Sounds pretty easy, right? So just do that. Like, start with that. I know that seems really simple, but if you're craving bad foods, a lot of the times it's just because mentally, like, you were reaching out for those bad foods for extended periods of time, and you just fall back into those habits of thinking, oh, I'm hungry, I need to stop by Wendy's, or oh, I'm hungry, I need to get a pizza, or something like that. When if in all reality, all you have to really do is probably reach out for the meal that you were wanting, and your hunger will subside. Now, more specifically, especially the low carbers out there, but really anybody that is out there, and regardless of what kind of diet or way of eating or lifestyle you eat, it could be vegetarian, it could be just anything. I would say the things that you would want to reach out for specifically if you're struggling from hunger and cravings is going to be proteins and fat. Protein sits in your stomach a long time. It takes a long time to chew that stuff up for your stomach acids and everything, so you're going to stay fuller longer. Fats, there's going to be a hell of a lot more of a caloric punch, and that's more satiating, but it's going to be 2.5 times roughly the caloric density that carbohydrates would be. And it also doesn't spike your blood sugar, so you're going to stay fuller longer and faster. So like a piece of cheese and a small piece of meat could get you a hell of a lot further than a big bowl of rice. You'll be hungry again in 20 to 30 minutes. I'm sure you guys have all experienced that. Number 3 is get busy and find a hobby. And the caveat to that is get off of your ass. Like, what are you doing? Like, you could do all kinds of things. You could work out. I mean, I tell my clients, don't do too much too fast and stuff like that. But instead of like pigging out on a pile of bad food or anything like that, I would rather you went and did something else. And I wouldn't care if one of my clients said, I was struggling, I went and jumped on, the treadmill for a half hour, and said, fine, that's fine, because you're going to be a hell of a lot in a better situation, keeping your mind busy and staying away from the food rather than maybe a little bit of exercise or something like that. But you can get a hobby. You can get all kinds of things. Obviously, I watch YouTube videos. I do all kinds of different things. I like lifting. I like researching about lifting, like all kinds of stuff. But obviously, it's going to be different for each person. You could spend your time. Well, I'll talk about that one in a second. But the next thing is, by the way, the exercises that you're going to do are here. Bing, 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 bing. And you're going to do these every 2 days until I give you another exercise video. So if it's next week and it happens to be on Tuesday or Wednesday, then, every other day, starting today, and then 2 days from today, and then 2 days from that, and 2 days from that. So like every other day. If it's Monday, it's Wednesday. If it's Wednesday, it's Friday. If it's Saturday, it's Monday. Like, just keep going. 15 sit-ups, 10 Russian twists, donkey kicks for 1 minute per leg, glute bridges for 1 minute straight, pumping up and down, fire hydrants for 1 minute per leg, per side, and that's done. And you're doing this 3 times. It's going to burn. And if you don't know what the hell a fire hydrant is, you can go to my exercise library. But you could probably just do a quick Google search, glute bridge GIF, donkey kick GIF, fire hydrant GIF, Russian twist GIF, and I'm sure you all know what the hell a sit-up is. But do those 3 times straight. For my clients, meaning anybody that I've trained, if you're watching this video, if you did any kind of glute work today, don't worry about starting until tomorrow. Give yourself a little rest in between. Now, the next thing is going to be water. I know that seems so simple, but water will truly fill you up. Like, you will feel fuller longer if you drink water. I'll be completely honest. If I slam like a giant thing of water, there's no way I'm getting any food in my stomach. I don't even want to, I almost feel sick. I'm not saying do it to that extent or anything, but a lot of the times, if you're struggling with hunger and cravings, slam a little bottle of water and chances are you're probably going to subside your hunger. A lot of people confuse hunger with thirst. A lot of the times, especially in the winter months, people don't realize how much water they still need, and especially if you're working out and you're exercising, and if you're low carb, you're not retaining the water. So you need to make sure that you are retaining the water. Little side note on that, make sure you're lightly salting all your food so that you can retain some water, because carbohydrates are going to soak up like a sponge, and once you don't have those, you kind of just piss it out. The next thing, number 5, and I think I do got a number 6 there. Number 5 is journal about your goals. So if you're like, I'm craving bad food, I'm going nuts, I want ice cream, start journaling about your food. You can make a little quick video. You can get like a little notebook where you start writing about it. And one of the things that works for me is when I find myself kind of like wandering around on my journey and stuff, I will actually just put myself down, and I have it right over there. There's like a couple notebooks that I'll worry about my like lifting goals, and I'll put them down and stuff, and it really does help me kind of regain my focus a little bit. But also, in addition to that, I want to talk about vision boards. I've done vision boards in the past, and I probably need to make some. Maybe take them to the gym, maybe not. I'm trying really hard not to make the gym tacky. You know what? Speaking of which, speaking of tacky, I might put some of these inspirational quotes there. Anyway, thank you, Nikki, by the way, for the timer. I appreciate that for the gym. Anyway, vision boards are really helpful, and basically what that is like you cut up a bunch of magazines and you put up like a body you want, exercise you want to do, maybe a figure you want to be like, maybe a race you want to do, just different things. Like with fitness it's a little bit different, but it could be like, when I hit this goal, I'm gonna go on a cruise to the Caribbean or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, really put these things in your mind, because it really does make a huge difference. And if you don't keep these things fresh, a lot of the times those hunger and those cravings will just take over your life. And then the final thing I want to talk about is read about whatever the issue is that you're having. So if it's like cravings, and I hate this term, but I will say it because it's easy to understand, like food addiction or unhealthy relationship with certain types of foods, or you're emotionally distressed, or you're stressed, or you're dealing with a difficult relationship in your life, or anything. These things that are triggering you and putting you in a situation to where you are in a bad spot, and maybe, maybe something that you never addressed. It's like trying to, like if you were going to fix a thermostat on your car. Now, some of us know how to fix thermostat. It's like whatever, but sometimes some people need to Google stuff. Like if you want to fix something that you have never fixed before, what do? You Google it, you YouTube it, maybe you read a book about it, maybe you read a little article about it online, and it helps you kind of troubleshoot the situation and be able to get through it. It's the same thing. Like, why don't we understand that our bodies are a hell of a lot more complex than a thermostat on a car? Our minds are a hell of a lot more complex than a thermostat on a car, or whatever. So why would we not, learn about it? Like, pick up a book about it. Spend, I had a client one time that she had like body image issues and stuff like that, and she read a book, and it was like pivotal for her. It was like she had epiphanies all the time, like, oh my gosh, this and that, and all these positive things and stuff like that. And it's silly to think that we would never try to increase our understanding and our education on something that was so massive in our lives. So if you're struggling with something, pick up a book and read about it. Like, it really does make a huge difference. Speaking of which, I need to get some self-improvement books. I've been like strength training, muscle building, all these, like, just nailing it, and there hasn't been any like fun books. So I really like those stuff. But I hope this video helped you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. If it did help you, please put in the description below what you think which of the 6 tips were most beneficial for you. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.